Hi guys, welcome back again to Painting with Steve. Simply oil painting we'll call it, yeah? All about that. New tutorial for you today. I hope you've all enjoyed the last tutorial I did, the wave crashing over. I really enjoyed painting that and I'm getting some really good feedback from it. I'm glad to know that you're all getting these hints and tips and just basic information in general with starting oil painting, alright? Just little hints and tips, just to help you along the way, that's all. So a new one today, we have a lovely snow scene today, alright? And it's going to be a lovely square canvas and some very, very warm colours going through this scene today. So normally when you think of a snow scene, in general you think of kind of very cold, bluish kind of colours, but it doesn't have to be. You can do some nice warm colours as well. So that's what we're going to concentrate on today. And I had a couple of requests for this, so I said I'd try and get this in now this time. So a nice colourful palette, okay? Nice colourful palette today, nice square canvas, and I have a picture of the painting on my tablet behind me here, but I'll put it on screen for you now. Okay, you should see it right now in front of you. And you can see it's a lovely warm kind of I suppose you could call it a kind of a sunsetty, almost a sunsetty kind of a snow scene, or even a sunrise. You can see a little bit of the sun off in the distance there, just kind of coming up and popping through the clouds. So yeah, a nice warm one today, guys. I hope you enjoy this. Thank you all very, very much for your comments. They really help me a lot, and I'm learning as well as I go. Okay, so that's what it's all about. We're helping each other out, aren't we? Okay, so I'm going to hook that up on my stand overhead. And we're going to have a lot of fun with this one today. So stay tuned and don't go anywhere, guys. Okay, guys, let's do this. Right, I'm going to take a pencil. Actually, first, I do apologise. I have to run through my colours, don't I? That's a very important thing to do, isn't it? Right, we have titanium white, naples yellow, cadmium red, deep. I have a little bit of phaylo blue, some cobalt blue, I have some cadmium yellow, only just a little now, just a tiny bit for the sun. I have some magenta, I have some lamp black and burnt umber. They're the colours, guys, okay? Just a few colours, a little bit of each, that's all you need. We can add more on as we need. Isn't that right? Right, okay, look at that photograph. I'm going to put the horizon line. Now, it's pretty high up on the photograph, isn't it? It's up around here. But I think I might bring it down just a little because I want to create a little bit more distance in this painting. So I might bring it to about here, okay? Just below the halfway mark. Now, I'm just going to use a brush to judge where that is exactly. So I'm just going to bring the tip of my brush here and hold it like that and then come across to the very same thing here. So now we just have a kind of a rough guide to where the horizon line is, don't we? So now now it doesn't have to be straight because there's going to be trees and all sorts of things going across here. So yeah, that will do. That's pretty good. Now I'm just checking the camera to make sure colours and everything are okay on this, that you can see all right, and you can see everything nice and clearly. That's okay, isn't it? Bearing in mind now, guys, this is only a camera phone, so it's not excellent, okay? I do apologise for that. Okay, I have some linseed oil and some turpentine in a little jar here, as usual, as you know. And I'm now going to take small green synthetic brush, a size 16 to be exact, if you want to be exact about it. And these are only cheap brushes now, guys. Remember, they're very, very cheap brushes. It doesn't have to be expensive. In fact, the most expensive part of the hobby is probably the paints, I would say. But look, it's worth it to invest in decent paints. They will pay dividend and you will see a difference by using better paints. Okay, now for the sky, I'm sorry now because I'm blabbering on here. For the sky here, I'm going to do a lovely mix of naples yellow and magenta. Okay, I want to start with that, and then we're going to start introducing some maybe a little bit of warm grey or something just across the top, because I noticed by looking at the photograph I have here now on my tablet, the sky is kind of pinky, isn't it? So let's have a go now off of this and see what we can do to make this a nice warm snow scene. I'm going to take some white, and I must say now, I did not prime this canvas yet. It's a fairly good canvas that I bought, so I said I'll try getting away without priming it. Now it's pretty smooth. This is a very, very smooth grain canvas. So I might get away without having to prime this myself. It is already primed, but I normally prime canvases if they're a little bit on the dry side. It does help the paint flow around that bit better, but this is fairly smooth, so I'll try painting just on this. Okay, now I'm mixing some Naples yellow with some magenta and white, and this is quite wet now. It's like, again, it's like very thin cream out of a tub. When you pour cream out of a tub, this is the kind of consistency that I have. Okay, I don't know now if you can see that, but you can almost see it starting to run. See it? It's a kind of like a thin cream, and it's just for the background really, just very, very watery mix just for the background. Now let's try this. That's probably a little on the thin side to me. Let's add a little bit of white, and that should thicken it up quite a lot. There we go. So I'm painting this now right across the painting from left to right all the way down. And again, I want to put on plenty of paint on this because I don't want this drying out too soon, because I want to do some blending and stuff later on. So I don't want it drying out too quickly on me. Now a little bit more Naples yellow, that will make a nice warm kind of a sunrisey sky. And if you notice, looking at warm snow scenes, there's always a bit of pink in the sky, isn't there? Up where I live here, in the winter time when it's snowy, or if there's a snowy kind of a sky, there's always some pink in the sky, which is lovely. And again, it'll warm the painting up lovely, and it will make it feel warm even when you look at the painting. So I'm putting this on now, and I can feel it almost starting to soak into the canvas a little bit. So I might just add a bit more to that. In fact, I might try a touch of cadmium red this time. Let's see what that gives us. Probably more of an orangey kind of a colour, I suspect, because cadmium red is much richer than the magenta. The magenta is very pinky. The cadmium red is very kind of deep reddy. So two completely different tones of pink. There we go. And as we go further off now, I'm going to bring in some more Naples yellow, because it's going way, way off now in the distance. And remember now, people, you can practice your own colours at home. You don't have to follow my colours exactly. You can add a little bit more of this or that if you wish. It's completely up to yourself. Okay, now that's a nice base for our sky. I'm going to take some more magenta, and I'm going to just make that a little bit richer on top. In fact, I might take now into this, I might take a little touch of burnt umber, and that will kind of warm it, but at the same time kind of dim it down a little bit as well. You see? That's not bad. I'm going to just pull this in across the top, because I want the darker colours on the top of the canvas that will give us more distance and perspective in our painting. So because this is closer to us, it's going to get slightly darker the higher up the canvas it goes. And I hope you can follow that. And then into that, I'm going to take a little black. Now, there's a little kind of a greyish going through this painting, I can see, just by looking at it here on my tablet. Now, the picture on my tablet is not excellent. I can't see the colours as I can with the painting. Now, the painting has since been sold, so I'm just using this photograph as a reference on my tablet. But I can't see the colours very well. So I'm kind of winging it now a little bit, guys, so forgive me. Now, a little bit of black into that, and I'm just going to pop a couple of clouds in just along here and there, look. Alright? Just a couple. I'm making this nice and simple now. Nice simple sky. One there, and just put another one there. I'm just, all the time I'm doing this, I'm just thinking simple, simple, simple. And I think that's probably the trick with painting like this. Just try not to overdo simple scenes. Just keep them nice and simple and they will actually work a little better in the long run. Now I'm going to put some of that down here. Okay. Just pull some of that through. And soften it all in. And I'm going to put a little hint of the sun coming through here now again in a minute, okay? In fact, I'll do it there now. Let's take a slightly smaller brush, a nice clean brush, okay? And I'm going to take some cadmium. Now this is a dry brush I'm using. I don't need to wet this brush because the canvas is quite wet. I don't want to make it very wet, okay? So dry brush and little cadmium yellow, little white. And to warm this up slightly, a touch of Naples yellow. Just a little. I don't want a pure yellow. I want it nice and kind of a warm tone of yellow. So let's pop this in now just here. Okay, a little circle. You see that? I hope you can all see. And let's take a little Naples yellow, because that's still quite kind of cold for me. It's a little cold for me, guys. So I'm going to take some of that Naples and I'm going to warm it up just slightly. And then I'm going to put a hint of white just in the middle. There we go. And that is our sun. That's it, guys. That's all we need to do just for the sun. Nice and simple. Nothing too complicated. I'm not going to go into too much detail with it. There's really no need. Now what I'm going to do is take a little of that white and I'm just going to cut across in front of that, just a little cloud. Just see, I'm kind of cutting across in front of it. And I'm going to put a hint of one or two clouds now, just skimming across the sky, just here and there. Now I know we have dark clouds there already, but I just want to kind of create some nice contrast. So for example, this one up here, okay? I'm going to put some Naples yellow and white just along the bottom of that. And I'm going to flick it upwards into the cloud. You see? It just kind of adds that little bit more life to the sky, I find. And I'll put another one or two just along here. Okay. I'm not being very particular now with these, it's just a little dab of paint here and there. Nice and simple. I might put a bit of yellow actually on these ones down here because that sun will reflect some of that colour and hit the top of those clouds. So perhaps just down here off in the distance, a little bit of that colour across just here and there. And we can even blend it in with our fingers as well, look, see? I just want to keep it nice and subtle. That's kind of, that's the term I'm kind of looking for, subtle. A little bit here and there like that. And I would say that's probably okay for now. That's just a nice simple basic sky. I don't want to overdo it and I don't want to spoil it, I suppose we could say. So I'm just going to leave it at that. A nice simple soft sky, guys, alright? Are we happy with that? Now, moving on, I'm going to move on to a bigger brush. This little brush here, okay? We have some nice little greyish kind of trees off in the distance, don't we? So I want to get those in. So I'm just going to dab my brush in the turpentine here I have. Dab it and then dry it on the tissue. So again, it's damp. And I'm going to take some magenta, some burnt umber, and I want to be careful with my colour here now because I want this to be kind of far off in the distance. And to do that I'm going to add a little touch of cobalt blue because blue will give everything distance in a painting, okay? It pushes everything off. and give those a good mix there now. And let's try this. That's a little dark for me, a little bit more white, a bit more magenta, and let's try this now. You see, I'm just giving it a little dab here and there, and I'm moving the brush around in different angles. That's looking quite good, yeah, that'll do. And I want this to almost fade away off into the distance. You see? So you can almost not even tell where the tops of the trees are anymore. That's the effect I'm looking for. Okay. That's quite nice. And let's keep going now. Let's put one or two taller ones up here and there. And I love painting these warm snow scenes. They're so easy to paint, but yet they have such an impact when they're finished. It's quite amazing, I think. Now I'm taking a touch of black into that. I want to just darken it ever so slightly as it's coming closer and closer to us. Perhaps a little touch of brown as well. And I'm working out almost on a completely dry brush here. Okay? Very, very dry. And I will also be putting a little bit of snow on these now as well. Okay, so don't worry. We'll add a bit of texture to these. And I hope you're following me along out there now and you're able to do this. Just take your time with it. There is no pressure at all. You can take as long as you like. Okay? Now I'm going to take some black and brown, plenty of thick paint on my brush, and just along here and there at the bottom, look, just add a little dark in, just here and there. And I'm just dabbing my brush, that's all I'm doing. Dabbing it in all different directions, and that's creating some nice dark areas here and there, and it's creating some interest in the painting. Okay. That's quite nice. Now I'm not following my picture exactly. I'm just kind of more or less using it as, let's say, a reference photo. Because I don't want to be painting something exactly the same every time I do it. Do you understand? I want it to be slightly different than the reference photo. Now I'm taking another dry brush and I'm going into some of that white with a little touch of magenta. So it's a nice kind of a whitey pink, and I'm just going to add a dab of snow here and there, just on these trees. Just a little bit, just along the top. You see that? And soften it down into the dark areas. That looks quite good. Just stick paint on the top tip of my brush, and then pushing my brush into the palette like that, and just dab here and there. Create some little snowfall on the tips of the trees and bushes. And this now is also a lovely painting to try if you're just kind of sitting down relaxing at home with your little table easel on your lap or something, and just you're tipping away, just doing a bit of practice. This is a lovely painting for that, because it's just so easy to do, guys. It really, really is. Now, so we have kind of more or less our distant trees now put in. What I might do is put one or two suggestions of some tree trunks in there, off in the distance. So just a little wet, blacky kind of a brown colour that we have, and just suggest some of the branches and all sorts of things off in the distance. Okay, so just a couple of little flicks just here and there. It's only a suggestion, that's all. I wouldn't go so far as to try and paint shadows and highlights and all that kind of thing on them, because they're so far away. All I'm going to see is a hint of tree trunk just popping through here and there. Okay, just like that. Nothing Nothing fancy. Now let's take our little square brush, the one we use for the trees, and I'm going to go into some white, and I'm going to start painting some snow now, okay guys? So I want to keep this warm, so I'm using some titanium white with some magenta, a touch of magenta, and let's come across here. It's a very kind of a bright pinky colour now, this. I will add some cool tones into this later, just to cool it slightly. Magenta, some white. Let's take a touch of that Naples as well. Yeah, a little more Naples. And I'm going to fade that into the distance there now. I want to blend all of this together nice and softly, okay? So I'm pulling some of the colour from those trees and I'm going to pull that down into the snow. You see what I mean? Just like that. And that's making a nice soft transition from the snow to the trees. So it's not a kind of a hard edge. If you notice here now, it's very kind of sharp, very hard, isn't it? So what I'll do is I'll take some magenta, take a touch of blue actually as well. And let's put that in here, and I'm going to pull the colour from the trees down into that snow. And you can see already all the different kinds of shades and tones that are coming out of these colours, all mixing together on the canvas. And then we can take our soft blender brush. Now where is it? Here it is. Okay, powder brush guys, and let's just soften those slightly together here, nice and soft. There we go. And that's not looking too bad now, is it? Okay, before I go any further, I want to just sketch in the river. It comes along like that, and it comes down like that, doesn't it? I'm just kind of being very rough with this now. Round like this, and then this one kind of comes down here, like that. That's just a very rough outline. We can adjust it as we go. Isn't that right? Now, carrying on, we'll switch to a slightly smaller brush and we'll get some thicker paint on this now. Okay, I'm going to take plenty of white. I'm going to take a touch of magenta, touch of cadmium red, and I'm going to take a touch of cobalt. Now that's a bit blue, but look, let's just keep working on this now and keep mixing these together, get the mixes just right. Some more white, some more magenta. Let's take a touch of black, that wet black, just a very, very light hint of it, that's all. And let's put that in here. So you can see now I'm painting snow, but it's not white, is it? It's not, it doesn't even look like snow, but you can tell by looking at the painting it's snow. And that's what I mean by when I say, you know, snow doesn't have to be white or blue or anything like that. You know, it can be warm as well. So let's just fill this in now all the way down. I might take some Naples yellow and some magenta and just warm it up a little. You see? I'm warming it up now slightly, just a little bit. Because it is a kind of a sunrise and I want to show the sun in a minute later on, bouncing off of the snow here and there, okay? Just kind of that lovely bright sunlight. There we go. Now, along here we'll have a dark edge, okay? And I'm going to take some burnt umber and a touch of that black, just a touch, and I'm going to start flicking it up here and over at an angle. So I'm creating the direction of the edge of the lake here, you see? And I'm just softening this dark colour into that snowy colour above it. That's all I'm doing. Pulling it very, very gently across. Does that make sense? And let's just keep going with this now, just along. Let's take a little bit of black even, tiny bit of black. And I'm doing this while the canvas is wet, because I want that wetness to help me blend these colours together. Okay, now I'm going to suggest some grass and reeds and all that type of thing here, you can see. We'll do some detail with our little pointy brush here now as well in a minute, guys, alright? Let's come along here. And look, we can soften it with our finger, we can soften it in. Isn't that nice? So adding a nice bit of contrast into the painting now as well. So we're building our layers as we go along. And now what I'm going to do is switch to my small brush, okay, small pointy brush. And take a little burnt umber, a little black, and let's just put a little hint of the edge of that river just in here and there. Just a little. Don't go crazy with this now, guys. Just wiggle the brush around here and there. That's it. Okay. And these tutorials that I'm doing now, guys, I'm kind of keeping them simple for beginners, okay? I'm not going to spend, say, a whole hour painting a rock or something, you know. If I was painting at home myself, normally I would kind of really take my time and spend maybe 3 or 4 hours on a painting like this, typically. But for tutorials, I just want to keep everything simple. I don't want to be getting overly complicated for you guys out there, because I know you're only kind of beginning and you don't want to be, how would you say, overcome with too much kind of work at a very early stage. So I'm just kind of nice and simple, nothing too drastic. Okay. Well, I hope you're following this now. Let's take a little brown. Let's put a little flick of some grasses here and there. Keep in mind now, guys, it's a snow scene, so there's not going to be a lot of grass and things like that in a snow scene, okay? Just a hint of, say, let's just say dead plants, dead leaves, that type of thing. You know, stuff kind of lying around on the floor. There we go. And that'll do for now. Okay. I want to start putting some light on this now. And for that, I'm going to take my little flat, nice little flat brush, and I'm going to start hitting it now here and there with just some very bright colours. Bright snowy kind of colours. So this is kind of the darker shade now that I was working on all the time. Now we will have shadows as well from the trees, don't worry. But for now I just want to get some nice light colours in here. So some titanium white, Naples yellow, and a touch of magenta. And I'm going to start off now with a kind of a warm tone for this. And I'll gradually get lighter and lighter. So the sun is coming along and it's hitting all of these here, see? Little bit of warm colour. Popping in through here and there. Softening with your fingers then. Okay, just a little bit. Again, I'm not being too fussy with this. So a little bit along the edges here where they separate, where each kind of snowbank is cutting in front of the one behind it. Okay, and a little on this one here. Let's just put a hint just here and a little bit of snow coming down and soften that down then. So just remember, we're softening everything as we go. Now let's take a bit more white. And let's suggest some thicker snow along the front here. And again, as I always say, I am being very loose with this. Very, very, very loose. Okay. There we are. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting some trees in off in the distance here. Before I go any further with these shadows or with these highlights, I want to put some trees in off in the distance. So I'm going to take some burnt umber with plenty of turpentine, and I'm going to take a little bit of black. And there are some trees off in the distance. There's a nice one kind of falling over here, sort of into the river. It's almost like it's been blown over in a storm or something. So I'm just putting a suggestion of that in just here. Now I have to go a bit bigger with that. And you can, if you like, leave your canvas dry slightly while you're doing this, and it will kind of take to the canvas much better. Only if you like. I kind of like sometimes working wet into wet like this, because you get lots of natural highlights and shadows when the paint is mixing on the canvas. So that's just my preference. You don't have to. So just very loose suggestion of that tree there. And then I'm going to put in a hint of a shadow. So for that I'm going to take some cobalt blue, some magenta, and a touch of black. Just a hint. I just want a dark colour. And the sun is coming down here at this angle, so a little shadow here just through the snow. You see? Just very, very loose. And soften it off your finger. There we are. And then let's put maybe a little hint of some snow on that. Okay, just a touch. There we go. That's it. Just a touch of a little dab of snow, that's all. Very, very, very small. And now we have a tree as well over here, don't we? But I'm just going to leave that out. I just think it's nice as it is. We have one or two trees coming up here, so I'm going to put those in. So again, burnt umber. Now plenty of turpentine in this. Burnt umber, a little black. Make this nice and wet. And I really enjoy painting trees like this because they're just so easy to paint and you can be so free with them. It's a lot of fun to paint trees, isn't it, guys? Because there's no set rule really when painting trees, apart from start off thick at the bottom and get thin as you go up. Okay, so there's a nice one here now. Let's try this one. Let's go here, and it kind of comes over at a slight angle like that, a little wiggle, and it comes up, and I'm going to go right up into the sky with this. Okay, right up. And there's another one. It's almost like two trees joined together, isn't it? Another one here. That comes up as well. Slight curve on it. And just have a bit of fun. And always remember when painting trees like this, the branches are very, very thin on top, because if you put a thick branch on top, it's going to look like it's too heavy for the trunk of the tree, isn't it? So I always keep the branches very, very thin. Okay, little wiggle, couple of little wiggles here and there. And just a suggestion, a very loose suggestion of some twigs and branches up on top coming off. And let's do a couple on this one. Okay. There we go. Have a bit of fun, guys. Don't be afraid. Just dive right in as you please. You know. And it's all about enjoying yourself when you're doing it, okay? There's no point in doing something if you're going to be all kind of worried and nervous about it, you know, just go for it. If you make a mistake, you can just rub it off with a cloth and start again. Alright, don't worry. Just give it a shot. Now, I'm going to come kind of out more up on top here. And it's a little cold in the studio today, so my hands are naturally kind of shaky now today. It's a little chilly in here, I'll be honest. So my hands are a little on the shaky side, so that kind of helps. If you have shaky hands, that's a bonus when painting trees, because that's what you want. Little shaky little twigs, little wiggles here and there. See, I went a bit too thick now with that, so I'm just going to leave it and I cover it with a bit of snow. Alright? A little accident, but it's okay. No worries. Right, let's dab a little snow on this. And what I'll do, look with that actually, is I will just give it a dab with the tissue, just to take some of it off, and I can cover it with the snow then. Alright? And for this, let's try a fan brush. Will we try a fan brush? Yeah. I have a fan brush here, okay? And I'm just giving it a clean. And let's take some, now let me see, I want a nice bright snow for this now, okay? So I'm going to take some Naples yellow with some titanium white. I might even take a touch of that yellow, the cadmium yellow that we use for the sun. So a really bright white here now. And let's put a little snow over this side, cover that little mark that we made. A little bit here and there. Let's take another little bit. And you can really have some fun with this. And again, remember, try not to overdo it. It's just a little bit here and there, that's all. And I think that'll do fine. It's not, as I said, you know, we don't want to be going mad with this. I might add a touch of shade into this. So let's take a touch of cobalt blue with some cadmium red. A nice warm shade now, okay? Just a little there, yeah. That'll do fine. And what I'm going to do then at the base of that tree, now I can put some lights on the side of the tree as well actually. Let's put some highlights on that tree, just one or two. So let's take a little titanium white, some Naples yellow, some burnt umber. And let's just hit that with some lighter colour, yes? Because the sun is coming through the cloud, so it is going to kind of hit that every here and there. So a nice warm highlight for that. And I'm going to soften it in then. A little bit on this side. There we go. And soften that in. And let's put a little here. Yeah. Just a little there. And in fact, what I might even do is put some snow on the branches as well. Just to suggest that the snow is kind of resting on the branches, isn't it? Just a little. And let's put a little touch of it off in the distance in this one here. Yeah, it just adds to it, doesn't it? Now, I'm going to put some shadow on this. I'm going to take some cobalt blue, some cadmium red, and again I'm keeping this warm, okay? So it's like a plummy kind of a grapey kind of a colour, okay? A plum kind of a grape. Nice warm kind of a purple. And let me just check this now first. Let's have a go. Yeah, that's not bad. Let's just give this a little wiggle and pull it off from this direction here. Okay. There we go. We have a separate one here, won't we? And soften those into that snow. There we are. It's just a suggestion, guys. Remember, everything is just a suggestion. That's what we're doing here. Okay, let's have a look. Yeah, we're looking good. We have a couple here now. I think we'll finish these trees here now, all right, and then we'll call this kind of, let's say, part 1 finished. And I will get part 2 uploaded then immediately after part 1 is uploaded. So everything will be done at the same time. I just have 2 separate parts of the video, okay? Now, we have a nice big tree here, so I'm going to switch to a slightly bigger round brush. It's only just a little bit bigger now, that's all. In fact, I might start off with a flat to get these big trees in. So a small flat brush, okay, little flat. Let's take some black, some brown, and I'm keeping these now, these colours quite kind of dark. They're not warm browns, they're dark, rich browns, okay? Or dark, shadowy browns, should I say. They're not very warm browns, so that's why I'm adding black into this. I want a nice contrast, and I also want the colours to sort of work together on the canvas. Because if I put a very light kind of a brown in here now, it might look a bit funny. So that's why I'm adding some black to it, to give it a really nice contrast. Now we have a couple here. I'm going to put these in. So we have one just around here. Okay. Just like that. I'm just using this brush now for the bases because the bases are quite thick. The tree trunks. Okay, just like there. And we have another one next to it here. Okay, that comes up. And we have a couple of other ones sort of creeping in as well, don't we? Like that. And then I'm going to switch to my little rigger brush, or my detail brush. And let's start forming these trees here now. A little wiggle at the bottom to suggest the roots growing out. Okay, so. And let's continue this one up off to a point. And this is very wet now, guys. This is very, very, very wet paint. It's almost like a watercolour, I suppose. Almost. And let's get these branches in here. Like this. And you can have a bit of fun with this now. Especially painting these kinds of trees. You're very, very freehand. You don't have to follow any photographs. You can follow your own if you like. If you have photographs of some nice trees. On your phone or your PC or whatever, you can copy those if you like. You don't have to copy these ones. There you go. So some suggestion of a few off up on top here. Okay. I'm not doing too much up here now because there's going to be a lot of snow up here. There we are. And just throw some flicks around here and there. And we have this guy. And I hope you're all enjoying my tutorials and enjoying my channel. I'm going to start really putting some good tutorials up now, guys, for the next couple of weeks. Start pushing you a little bit. There's going to be some real kind of long tutorials with a lot of work in it. There might be even 3 or 4 parts maybe to one painting, but I will be doing some nice big paintings in the coming weeks. Some nice big tutorials. You know, I think for the people out there who are kind of advancing a little bit quicker, you might like to see some extra tutorials, so I'm going to do that for you guys. Some more difficult tutorials, we'll say. Okay, now I want to take a little black and put some black just along the shadows here, just along the back of the trees. And then I'm going to be putting some highlights on these. Okay, let's do some highlights. And I'm just going to take some white with a touch of cadmium red and naples yellow. And let's put a hint of some nice light colour on the front of these trees and soften it up. And maybe a bit more naples yellow. There we go. Nice warm kind of a highlight. And pull that down there and soften it over into that dark colour. Okay, did you get that? So let's try it again. Let me take some more red into this, make it nice and warm. Now, I'm going to pull some of that colour down. And I'm being very kind of wiggly with this now when I'm doing this. And let's go around the branch just slightly. And let's soften that across, just little flicks, just pull it across. And then clean the brush again. And then up above that, let's do the same there. There we go. Okay. I'm following that okay? And a bit on this one, just a hint. And that'll suffice, I think. Now, there we go. Right, guys, time for a little snow on these, would you agree? Yes? Yeah, let's try a bit of snow, shall we? Now, I might actually just darken the back of those a little bit more, if you don't mind. It just brings little shadow down, nice strong shadows on the back of those trees. And that'll really set off those highlights then. Yeah. Now, okay, snow. Let's just take our fan brush, yes? And let's go into some snow colour. Let's do even this colour that we just mixed here. There's a lot of white there. Let's try some of that. And I'm just using the corner of the brush now, guys, okay? The corner of the fan brush. That's all I'm doing. Nice and simple, keep it nice and easy. And I suppose you could do it in clumps, like a little clump of it here. Okay, and then let's take some warm colour, put another little bit here. You see? And that'll do. Let's not overdo it, shall we? We can always come back to these again later on, guys. Okay? Now there's one more thing I want to do before I finish this part of the video, and that is the shadows of these here. I'm going to take that nice dark colour that we just mixed earlier, and let's take put some shadows in here. Let's take a bit of that brown as well. And we have one there, one there, one there. There we go. And that will do fine, okay? Just a suggestion, that's all. That will do absolutely fine. So I think, for now guys, we will call this part 1 finished. Let me now, we will do more work on these little areas later, okay? Don't worry, I'm not gonna leave it as it is. So for example, I'm gonna put some lights. See, I can hit it with some highlights just here and there, just 1 or 2, you know. We have all these little things that we can work on later. These will be the final details, if you like. So don't worry, we'll have a lot to do yet on this painting. So I hope you're enjoying it, guys. Let me just take the camera off here just for a second so I can speak to you face to face. That would be better, wouldn't it? Let me see now. I'll get this camera off here, and there you are. Now I hope you've enjoyed it. It's quite a nice painting. Yeah, it's coming on nice, I think. Join me in part 2 when we will finish the painting and see how we get on. All right. So thanks very much for tuning in, guys. I'll see you again very soon. Thanks and God bless. Bye bye.